Hello, everybody.
Well, I feel like we talked to you a lot last year. We haven't talked to you since Media Day, I guess. Is that a vow of silence this year, or where have you been?
I guess I've been here.
Yeah.
I actually missed Media Day entirely.
I thought we talked to you on Media Day.
I had class during that. Media Day. Yeah, I
It's
think.
just whoever's here when practice starts.
Oh, I
Yes.
hear you. For some reason, I thought we had Media Day.
Yeah, I haven't
So
been
we
in front
haven't
of-
talked to you at all then.
Haven't been in front of the camera on the mic this year.
So how's the season going for you?
I think it's off to the best start so far. When I take a step back and look at everything, I'm getting a lot of bonus points. Typically, this little weekend was a little hiccup, but I'm excited with where I'm at right now, and we're getting into some Big Ten matches, so that's gonna be a lot of fun.
What was Belton doing that maybe frustrated you or stopped you from your offering?
So I think the traveling across the country, that's a little tricky. Coming off the holidays, it was a month. I didn't make 141 for a month. Yeah, so it was a little hard weight cut. They had the most fans they've ever had in that arena. They had like 8,000 people. I did not expect that out of Oregon, respectfully. So I think it was a much more competitive environment than I thought about. And it was just like a lot of small things, the weight cut, getting out there and all that stuff. But I'm excited. I'm now closer to weight. I've been making weight now. So I think this upcoming week, I'm just back into my routine again.
When you had to cut, did it get away from you there for a little bit at the holidays, or like when you indulge?
Well,
what do you
keep in mind, I did wrestle 149 for 2 years,
Right,
and I wasn't
right.
big, but every year coming to college, I've been heavy. But I'm competing a weight class lower. So, I mean, I eat pretty healthy, and I'm short, but I do think I am one of the biggest 41 pounders, size-wise, strength-wise. So just making sure I can continue to make weight. It's a funny statement that now I am big, which is really funny. But I got it under control. Competing regularly is the best thing for me when I can make weight once or twice a week. Again, the last match was Lehigh, and there was a month between that.
Yeah.
So 41, even when I wrestled freestyle, it was 143.3. So it's a little bit different, but just getting back into my routine, committed to this weight, committed to doing what I got to do. So just getting back to
You're basically in the middle of Braden and Tyler. I mean, what have you seen from them when they've been to the team? How good has it been to watch those guys go?
those guys are stepping up and they compete. They wrestle really hard and they know how to get their hand raised. I think after this trip especially, it was really cool because it was our first away match. We had the journeyman thing, but that was just like kind of a day of sort of thing. But this one, it's really cool when you have a match because the whole team's competing together and being out there. You know, we're all playing video games after the fact, some long flights, some long buses, being together the whole time, seeing these guys off the mat. That's really cool. So I think the future's bright with all those guys, and right now is bright for them too.
How have you seen the Gal adjust to this room? And when you get a guy who's been in another program, is there anything you guys can pick up from him? Like, hey, you know, this is a game that we played in practice in my old room before. You know, anything like that? Or?
So I really like how Aaron wrestles. We were trying to pick each other's brains a couple times, and so he wanted to wrestle on his feet with me so he could pick up some things, and I kept picking bottom so that he could be on top. And I remember we did this drill like a week ago, right before we left, and it was you take him down really easily, and then once you take him down, you start wrestling live, so as hard as you can, right? Takes me down real easily, and I stand up, I'm like, okay, this is fine. Takes me down, throws one leg in, I stand up, it's a little tricky. Takes me down, he throws both legs in, gets the position he wants to be in. I'm like, okay, I try standing up, fall flat on my face. I'm on my stomach for probably like 3 minutes. So Aaron is really, really good, and I like picking his brain. Everyone's really good at least one thing. Like they're really, really good, world class. So figuring out what it is that everyone's good at and seeing what I can implement in my style and what I can share to others. Aaron is a great example of that.
What do you think you're world class at?
I think cooking. I think when I truly want to score, when I have to score, I score. So putting that in my mind of being able to be assertive and just go after and get it, because there's a lot of matches that go to overtime, which is actually there's not as many now. Not this year. There's only 2, but if it goes to overtime, I'm pretty confident. So if I can just wrestle and go do what I have to do right in the beginning, that'll be that'd be pretty good.
Cat's out of the bag now. Are you like the team chef? What kind of stuff do you cook? How'd you get into that? That's a bunch of questions right there.
A lot of guys actually on this team make a lot of food. I grew up, my parents are in the team, so they have some restaurants, and so I've always been around food, around good food, and I think since moving out, I like making my fiance and I dinner, breakfast, like whatever it is. I'm not talking scrambled eggs. I'm getting fancy. I made 2 nights ago Cajun chicken pasta. Last night mesquite apple rub chicken with. So you can see why it's hard for me to make food. I'm making a lot of food, but as long as it's healthy food, it'll work.
You're talking about what do you share? I mean, what do the freshmen ask you? Do they ask you for advice and stuff? Do you help them?
So I think they have a lot of questions, and I think it's just when I came here too, I had more questions than there were answers. There's all kinds of things, and I think whether it's like how can I set this shot up, how can I do this, what I do here, a lot of different examples. And I think what I've figured out from the coaches is by me not getting direct answers from the coaches so many times, like well, there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of solutions that you just have to figure out what works for you. I think I'll offer these freshmen, the sophomores, whoever, some advice, but also remind them that what works for me might not work for you. Like there's a lot of different ways to wrestle. So here's what I do, but it might be something different.
Is that it? Awesome, thank you all.
Thanks, Beau.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you guys.